Good day, welcome to Great White Retro. I'm Gord Festick, this is my wife Bridget.
Bob and Tim Zurko. Victor Vile. How's it going, eh?
Bryce Olson, CBS 5, Green Bay.
Our topic today is St. Paul Elder Services.
Shawano's Indoor Flea Market. Collectorabilia. We're going to be showing off our vintage computer collection to like thousands of people. Let's get her done.
Welcome to Green Bay, Wisconsin, home of the NFL Green Bay Packers, Lambeau Field, and just south of Green Bay in the town of Ashwaubenon is the Rush Expo, brand new building, the host of Collectorabilia. But before we get this far, let's rewind back to what started this whole process. I got the idea of setting up shows for people, and I asked St. Paul Elder Services if I could do one for them. I figured the residents there might be able to appreciate some of this vintage technology. This was on February 4th, and Bridget was on hand to help, thank you so much. This is the same setup that I built in my landing to test all this stuff out. I still haven't quite figured out the exposure on the iPhone 14 Pro's camera at this point, so things are just a tad bright, but I'm not going to worry too much because this was the last time I had to deal with overexposure. I didn't know what to expect, so I only had 4 machines running. But hey, let's see if we get any interest from this. And we got hardly any interest at all. The show officially started at 1. I did a little PA announcement just to let folks know we were here. And I think maybe we got one group of visitors, followed by another group of visitors. We're not allowed to film them, which is why they're not on camera here. But a lot of it was me just sitting here watching.
Welcome to Zurko Promotions Indoor Flea Market.
I did a much better job here in the town of Shawano, Wisconsin, which has a community hall that hosts an indoor flea market throughout the winter. Lots of vintage, archaeological digs, and various other things here, including my now vintage computer collection. I started again with my small collection. My 128 wasn't working at that point. Apparently a fuse died, but I got that fixed up. But this should give you an idea. We had a lot more foot traffic here, and the owners of the flea market, Zurko Promotions, even provided some of the printed materials for these shows. This is Victor helping me pack things back up after the first show. It took a while. It takes about 90 minutes to set up the thing, and it takes about 90 minutes again to tear it down. And this was the last time I ended up using my own tables. That's okay. These guys have nice, huge tables, and I was able to put up a slightly bigger show in the subsequent shows. I did 2 more shows in March. So not bad, got quite a bit of attention. But while that was going on, we got quite the snowstorm right on one of the shows, March 10th. But that's okay, because Zurko also runs Collectorabilia. They let us go over there as well. I appreciate the invitation so much. So Zurko Promotions runs Collectorabilia. They hadn't been able to do so for quite some time. They were on a hiatus until 2021. So this is only like the 6th or maybe 5th show in a long time. They also provided these printed materials for no extra charge. Tim Zurko was glad to have us over here to go along with the rest of these collections that were going on. I'm so grateful for this. We got a lot of exposure from this, and you will see how in just a bit. We were able to set up the day before on April 7th, and that's what Victor and I here are doing. In addition to this, we were able to bring one big monitor. That huge HP monitor was brought the following day, just before the start of the show, and I had to scramble to get here the following morning. But that's okay. We were able to get everything all set up and make sure that things were still working. Ta-da! So yeah, here we go. That TI, while it works, again, I got no way to load software on it, but it's a much bigger display now than the last one. So, Saturday morning, April 8th, I take a quick look around here. Collectorabilia is more than just video games or retro games. The CBS 5 report suggested this was mostly about gaming, but there was a lot more going on here. There were any kind of collectible you could get here. Pokemon trading cards, old antiques, plush animals, Beanie Babies. If it's collectible, you would have found it at Collectorabilia. Nice. There were also a lot of modern vendors, so I tried to avoid giving them any airtime here. But yeah, pretty much comic books. Yeah, custom illustrations, records, albums, all kinds of stuff, gems and jellies, oddly as well. Snowshoes. And even this artifact over here I never thought I'd see again, an old rotary-style telephone. And of course there's my display here in the corner, although I made quite an impact. There was, however, one thing that people kept asking for over and over and over again ever since I set the Apple IIe up. Oregon Trail. They kept asking for this. It's a good thing I have that Super Serial card and a copy of ADT Pro, because in between breaks I was able to grab a copy of this game and get it started up on this 2E. And it attracted the most attention out of all these displays. Much simpler, much easier games to play, and they decided to play Oregon Trail. This young woman here was playing it for a good 90 minutes. It took her a while to get through on the first time, but she did get through. Turns out that a lot of the folks that were asking for Oregon Trail were making the usual jokes, "Oh, I died of dysentery." But they're actually pretty good. This woman was able to complete the game, as did a previous person. So not too bad. There were some things about the interview that I want to share that were missed.
What about the for blog events? The things you started out with?
Well, essentially my wife told me to get a new hobby. That's the simplest solution. But what happened was I was watching other retro enthusiasts, such as David Murray from the 8-Bit Guy, or Adrian Black from over in Portland, Oregon. These guys restore and document old 1980s style systems, and I thought, I'd like to try some of that. Modern games designed for these old systems are more complicated than anything you can get for a modern console. I mean, Call of Duty, literally point and shoot. Attack of the Petsky robots, you have to think about how to win that. If a provider ever pulled their plug on their service, like if Adobe ever pulled the plug on their Creator Suite series, we'd have no access to it anymore. We can use these today, and we'll be able to use them as long as we can maintain the hardware.
Of all your pieces here, do you have a personal favorite?
That Commodore 128 over there. But I like all these old machines. I just have a soft spot for Commodore.
And yep, I had a soft spot for Commodore. I played this about once an hour. Anders Edgar Jensen did a wonderful job remaking this, along with the previous tune. And I got to show it off here.
Gord Fessick, and this is...
Bryce Olson, reporter, CBS 5, Green Bay.
And he's interviewing me over here at Collectorabilia. Let's get her done.
Okay.
Thus ends Collectorabilia 2023 Spring Edition. There's a version in November coming up, and the Zurkos have invited me to that one as well. Hopefully I'll have a bigger collection by then.
And that is it for Collectorabilia 2023. With any luck, we might see you here in November about this time, and we're going to see about getting all these people who said they got machines, see if we can get these ones looked at. Until then, good day.